Hey guys, Jared with Rhody Fly Fishing, and today we're going to be tying our Rhody Flatwing. It's an extremely versatile pattern, can be tweaked in a number of ways to represent a ton of different bait, casts really well, and moves really well in the water. Okay, so in the vise today I have a Gamakatsu SC15 and a 2/0, and I'm going to use mono thread. So just going to start my thread and bring it back to the bend. The first thing I'm going to tie in is a support for my wing, and for the support I'm just going to use couple of strands of white bucktail. I'm going to measure this to be about 1.5 to 2 times the length of the shank. The nice thing about these flatwings is they're not only versatile, but you can kind of tailor them to whatever bait that's prevalent. So the measurements are almost a guideline. So the next thing we're going to tie in is my first hackle, which I'm going to tie in flat. So you'll see guys, they'll tie them in with the fuzz. Mine's a little big, and I like to tie mine in right in front of that point anyway. So I'm just going to strip off the fibers I don't need. Take the fuzzies that I just stripped, dub just a little bit on my thread. It's hard to dub with mono. And create what they call the pillow. So this is going to help me just tie my hackle in flat. So place that on top. It's going to be the combination of the bucktail and the pillow that's going to keep my wing supported. It's just a light pinch wrap directly down. You can position that where you want it. Next, I'm just going to grab a single piece of Flashabou and pearl. I'm going to double it over my thread and put that right on top. Alright, for my next feather in my wing, I'm going to use a chartreuse grizzly hackle. Do the same thing. Measure it so it extends about the same length, maybe a little longer. And then strip off the fuzzies that you don't need. And then tie that in right on top. Check, and then tighten everything down. Just going to tighten everything down to make sure it doesn't go anywhere. Then I'll come back. Get rid of the stems. I'll come back up and work this back just a little bit. Okay, I'm going to grab a couple more strands of Flashabou, and I'm going to double these over my thread. I'm going to use this to create my body. You can also use body braid, but because I always have Flashabou on my desk, I find it easier just to double this over and use it as my body. Tie that down, cut out the butts. Alright, so I'm going to tie my underwing in, which is just going to be a little bit of white bucktail. So I want this to extend about halfway up the hackle. So I'm just going to flip it over, take my measurement, trim it out, and then tie that in on the bottom. So, oops, just moved to my vise. Good amount of tension so it doesn't go anywhere. Then distribute that around. Okay, so just going to tie my other wing on, which is going to be chartreuse bucktail. And I like this to be a little longer and a little straighter bucktail if I have it. And it's going to be a little thicker as well. I'm going to have that extend to almost the tips of the hackle. Just trim my butts and tie that in right on top. Tighten that down. Okey-doke. Looks good. Next I'm going to top this with some Peacock Herl. Just 5 or 6 strands or so. Okay. So I'm going to have that extend to where my wing ends or just past it. Tie those in. Just going to break these off if I can. I have to trim them. Pretty short. There it is. Alrighty, so I'm just going to whip finish. Make sure everything's tied down. And a second whip finish. A little bit of super glue to finish it off. So at this point you can add eyes. I typically don't. I think they make the fly look better, but I don't believe it makes it fish better. So for me it's just another step, so I tend to skip it. And that's it. That's a Rhody Flatwing. Great pattern. It's got a very good profile from below. Great movement. You can tie them big, and they're still light and sparse to cast. If you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe so you can watch all of our future videos. And don't forget, you can get all the fly tying materials at tridentflyfishing.com.